Harry is sick? How did Peter get the symbiote already? Will Miles and Peter's relationship be put to the ultimate test? So, at the end of Spider-Man PS4, Peter is faced with his biggest choice ever: Aunt May or his city. He wrestles with just saving his aunt and saying forget the city, but his nature won't let him. His aunt then reminds him of who he is and reveals that she's known he's Spider-Man for a while. He is broken after already having struggles with his girl, losing his mentor, and now essentially his mom. Now, I absolutely love Spider Man, and given by his track record and being the number one grossing fantasy character, I'm sure many of you do too. And there's a few staples you have with every Spider Man story: aunt and uncles dying, love interest going to hell or dying, and Peter always having to set aside his personal feelings or pride for the good of others. And I think we're about to go on a roller coaster in Spider Man PS5. First, let's theorize on what led him to take the symbiote. So the relationship between him and Harry, or Norman, was not thoroughly explored in PS4. I think we're about to get that fully fleshed out with both Harry and Norman. Okay, so maybe I'm reaching a bit, but at the end of PS4, Spider-Man PS4, when Norman goes to his son and says, "We almost have a cure," we all thought his son was sick because of the symbiote. But I don't think that's the case. What if in a dark, twisted fate, it was an uncurable sickness like cancer? And he found the symbiote and thought its regenerative traits could help his son, but it began to feed on him and make things worse. Or maybe it's not cancer, but the symbiote did not bond correctly with Harry and it made him sick. But I'm not sure why he would take the symbiote, period. Now, there is a chance that Osborn wanted his own super being. He knows there's a Spider Man going around. His old rival has huge mechanical arms that can't be stopped. And maybe he thought turning his son into a scientific artwork would put him on top. It wasn't good enough he crushed Octavius's career, but his jealousness was not happy until he had his own power. You have Mr. Negative, Rhino, and the Avengers that are all a part of this world. Possibly Wolverine and the mutants, since Insomniac is making the Wolverine game. And Osborn just wants his own power. So creating his own superpower being with an alien life form could make him feel like he has his leg in the game. And best believe he would use his son to do this. Let's not forget power hunger has always been a part of him in almost every timeline. Now, how did Peter get the symbiote? Well, obviously we're going to find out when the game drops, but let's do some theorizing here. I think he was trying to help Osborn. Not sure why, but he is still a scientist himself. Maybe out of his want to help and his love for science. But did Spider-Man just go and take the symbiote? Or did he bust in the place and say, "Hey, you're doing this wrong, let me help"? Nah, I believe Norman actually reached out to him. He had a direct experience with Spider-Man at the end of Spider-Man PS4, so we know that he is familiar with Spidey's capabilities. And maybe even more. He already dominated over Octavius, so what do you think happened when he was arrested? Norman probably immediately raided Doc Ock's lab and had everything taken, knowing a lot more about Spider-Man due to his suit blueprints and more being hidden in Doc Ock's lab. He had plenty of time to go there while Peter was fighting and rushing to get to Aunt May. And for those saying or wondering, well, how would he know where his lab was? This man is a jealous, greedy man. I'm sure he keeps tabs on every suspected person who could be more powerful than him. Tune in again to see how I think Miles and Peter's relationship will echo that of Peter and Octavius' relationship. I'll see y'all soon and God bless.